Let the indictments begin. Why California Governor Gavin Newsom and other Democrat politicians are worried about a big announcement made this week by the U.S. Department of Justice, launching an investigation into state and local potential illegal activity here in California. Coming up, we have full details and how we're shining a light to help out the process. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state legislator representing District 75 in the California State Assembly. There was a big announcement this week by the U.S. Department of Justice. The Trump administration prosecutors are gearing up with federal investigators to pour through a variety of problems in the state and local governments here in California. This is a bombshell announcement that's been made, and all of my sources tell me that not only are Newsom's political handlers concerned, but we've got a variety of state and local politicians that are shaking in their boots. Here's the announcement. Now, to set this up, let me tell you who is driving these investigations. 2 weeks ago, we brought you the great news that my good friend, Assemblymember Bill Asaley, who represented the 63rd District in the State Assembly and was part of our Reform California caucus fighting for change in Sacramento, he was tapped by President Trump as the next U.S. prosecutor for California. Here's the story in Politico. Trump picks lightning rod California legislator to be U.S. attorney in Los Angeles. Bill Asaley being appointed by Trump to be basically the Department of Justice lead prosecutor for the entire Central Division of the state of California, which is 20 million people. Most of what goes on in California goes through his jurisdiction. And he's a former prosecutor. So he's a career prosecutor now being elevated in the Trump administration to a political appointee. He knows about the corruption. He's been kicking the tires. He's been pursuing a variety of very troubling revelations on government programs here in California. Now he has the ability to subpoena. Well, just this week, he hit the ground running with this big announcement. Headline, U.S. Attorney's Office, Central Division of California. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley announces criminal task force to investigate fraud and corruption involving homelessness funds. Now, this is just relating to homelessness, but let me just give you a heads up. More is coming down the pike, and we just cannot wait. So here is the announcement. U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley today announced the formation of a homelessness, fraud, and corruption task force, which will investigate fraud, waste, and abuse and corruption involving funds allocated toward the eradication of homelessness within the seven county jurisdiction in Central District of California. Task force will be comprised of federal prosecutors from the major frauds section, the public corruption and civil rights section, the civil division's civil fraud section of the U.S. Attorney's Office. The task force will also include FBI, Department of Housing and Urban Development, Office of Inspector General, and the IRS Criminal Investigation. So basically, you've got DOJ, HUD, and Treasury through the IRS, all on this task force. Of course, the FBI will be doing the legwork. They're looking at a variety of things relating to homelessness. For example, in Los Angeles County, they did voter-approved tax increases, claiming they were going to spend the money on homelessness reduction. And outside audits, though, of those funds have shown that the services were disjointed, contained poor data quality and integration, lacked financial controls to manage contracts for compliance and performance. Asaley also points out federal funds from HUD as part of their ongoing appropriation, but also special funds given out to state and local government programs that he now has jurisdiction to go back 5 to 7 years and audit and investigate to see Well, where did the funds actually go? Now, this is not something that is new. Our concern about inefficiency may not be criminal. It's certainly unacceptable to taxpayers. We've been looking at this for the past several years as Gavin Newsom has touted his progress on homelessness, which hasn't been progress. It's actually been a mess. Homelessness has skyrocketed under his watch, even though we've spent $24 billion since 2019. Here's a report from the Hoover Institution highlighting that. $24 billion since 2019. Homelessness is up 30,000 to 181,000 on average on any given night in the state of California. Now, we don't audit these funds. In fact, we don't even know where a lot of this money went. But on this podcast, we've shined a light on the corrupt way that these funds are being allocated. The scam is called Housing First. What they say is, oh, you know what we should do? We shouldn't treat homelessness in terms of the root cause. We shouldn't get into substance abuse or mental health. We shouldn't be enforcing rules. We shouldn't have clean, sane, and sober living requirements. Let's just give the money to rich developers. Give them subsidies. Tell them to go build these condo towers at $1 million a pop. $1 million a pop. Or we give them vouchers. Homeless people get vouchers for motels at the cost of $6,500 on average per month for a Motel 6 homeless voucher for a homeless person for the month. So give the key to a motel room. Give a key to $1 million condo that some rich developer built with government money and ask nothing in return. No change in behavior, no treatment, no get your life in order, no get a job. It's just, hey, here, free housing. Housing first. Yeah, we got to give everyone housing first. They do this under the guise of being compassionate, but these aren't compassionate people. Newsom and the Democrat politicians, Karen Bass, the whole ilk of them, they don't give a rip about homeless people. They would do tough love. They would actually do what other states do to reduce homelessness by getting to the root cause. No. They want the money for their rich developer friends. Because what happens? That money comes back to the politicians in the form of, you guessed it, campaign contribution. Now, this is just the homelessness piece. A lot of these homeless groups are getting grants that then get allocated to politics. Because when we looked at the COVID funding program in the state of California just a few weeks ago, we uncovered $25 million being given to political groups. Here's Fox News covering my expose on that. Blue state GOP lawmaker goes viral for exposing state spending proposals. People were appalled. Then, of course, I was removed from the budget committee. And part of that was for exposing the $25 million going out in the COVID program. Here we are. We are spending $25 million of taxpayer money on a COVID program. Isn't that so 2020? This is completely unnecessary. It goes on to say that the grants went out to political groups here in the state of California involved in ballot harvesting, candidate support, lobbying for left-wing proposals. They're funding their political infrastructure using your taxpayer money under the guise of helping people out. So all of this stuff is being teed up, and there's so much more. I mean, obviously the investigation, the criminal investigation announced by Asaley, and he's just 1 week into his job, by the way. Just bravo. Great work, Bill. His investigation starts with kind of the low-hanging fruit topic, which is what's going on with all this money on homelessness, but more investigations are being teed up. And what we need to do, again, is help out with this process. When we find stuff that looks really bad, then we can refer it to criminal investigators, the prosecutors, the FBI, for them to continue to dig deep and find out whether illegal actions have occurred. And look, wasting money may not be illegal. It's unacceptable. But in a lot of times, a lot of cases, the waste is not just mismanagement. It's actual wanton violation of federal law with terms and conditions on these federal grant programs. And if they're doing it across the internet, it's wire fraud. So there's a lot of potential for illegal actions to be detected here, as well as accountability through criminal prosecutions. Let me just say that we're going to need your help because, prosecutors, they have a full plate. And so teeing up the low-hanging fruit for them means that we've got to be doing our job as investigators into the waste, fraud, and abuse. And where it rises to a level potentially of illegal action, then we can refer it to these investigators for the criminal side. But help us out at Reform California. We're shining a light on state and local government through our Doge California project. Check it out at reformcalifornia.org. That's the website, reformcalifornia.org. Here's our story. Reform California launches effort to Doge California. What I want you to do, number one, is sign up at the bottom of the page, because that way you will get updates on all of our investigations, what we're finding, not only at the state level, but at the local level. You also can reply to our updates with your own tips as to what you're seeing in your local jurisdiction, and we can follow up on that. Go to the bottom of the website at reformcalifornia.org and sign up. First name, last name, email, phone, and zip code. Then you'll be tethered into our growing movement statewide here in California to not only shine a light on the corruption and the wasteful spending and the failures of politicians out here, but to do something about it by electing better candidates to office at the state level, at the local level. We're recruiting candidates, training, mentoring, and endorsing them. And of course, we have our very popular plain English Reform California voter guide that we distribute in each election that doesn't just endorse the candidates, it also focuses on the ballot measure races and giving you a plain English description of what's on your ballot. So sign up on that website, but also chip in a contribution. We can't do any of this work without your help. If you want better government in California, help put gas in the tank, go to reformcalifornia.org, chip in a contribution. Finally, like and subscribe to this channel so we can break through the censorship of the liberal media and continue to bring you important stories like this one. That's right, Governor Gavin Newsom, get ready. You now have a prosecutor in California, a federal prosecutor who's launching his investigations. First up is homelessness. We think that there's going to be a number of new developments on other areas, including the money laundering, of taxpayer money into left-wing groups. I'll just give you a hint about that based on a lot of the work that we've been doing, but also inappropriate use of Medi-Cal dollars, other federal reimbursements that Gavin Newsom and local politicians throughout the state have used and abused, misappropriated, broken federal statutes and regulations as to the use of the money. All that is coming home to roost. Buckle up, Gavin. The trail, it is now being followed, and we'll see where it leads. You too, Karen Bass. That's right. Yep. DEI can't save you. It's time for accountability. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California and a California state legislator. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.